What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Just beaten West Ham 3-0 at the London Stadium in an absolute rout. Spurs getting back to winning ways after the international break, after a terrible performance against Bournemouth. The first game of the Levy-less tenure is off to a very, very good start. And I think there's new air. There's a new light on Tottenham right now. And these kind of wins, hopefully, will start being the norm. We want to win more games more often. That's what we heard from the Lewis family. And look, they promised that hopefully this is the start of them delivering. We'll have to wait and see. But brilliant 3-0 win.
Yeah.
Wasn't easy to watch at times. I'm here with Josh King to discuss this. Is our inter-match reaction. We'll start with the first half because it wasn't pretty at times, that first half. I mean, it was quite similar to what we were seeing maybe last week against Bournemouth, especially at times. You know, West Ham, you could argue, had the better chance in that first half, Paquetá, and they were finding it way too easy to get near our box and, you know, creating crossing opportunities. But I guess the story of that first half was that disallowed goal, which obviously doesn't mean anything now. We don't have to talk about it. But it wasn't talking about in that first half. Romero had his goal disallowed due to what was a very, very, in my opinion, soft foul on Walker-Peters. Again, frustrating given the amount of pushing and shoving that does go on the box on a regular basis that goes unpunished. The fact that we got penalised for that one was frustrating at the time.
Awful decision. You know, it looks like Van der Ven is getting pushed from behind. That sort of stuff goes on all the time. He hasn't dragged him down. He's barely touched him. The goal should have 100% stood, and that would have capped off what was a man of the match performance for Romero for me. So, yeah, and I feel like every weekend the refs are getting involved with something. I'm just glad that we're not having to, you know, be upset about it now. You know, I mean,
100%.
We won in the end.
Yeah, thankfully it means nothing. But the first half, I mean, it was very little to kind of garner from. We looked dangerous from set pieces, open play. We did struggle. I think there's no doubt about it. We struggled to kind of open up West Ham. Xavi kind of struggling to get into the game. With our best avenue was kind of Kudus trying to make something happen down the right-hand side. But Tell starting up front, given an opportunity today, he really struggled. Again, looked anonymous, really struggled to compete. So going into half-time, you're thinking, okay, we really need to change things. We really need to see Frank making some subs, changing some players. And to be fair to him, he didn't change it.
Yeah.
He kept the same 11, and within 15 minutes, the game was won, which is mad to think about. But I think the first half, it wasn't really too different to the second half. It was just... What happened was one of those set pieces that we were looking dangerous from in the first half. We scored from right at the beginning. Sarr gets a header at the back post, left completely free. I mean, I have to watch it again, but it's mad. He's completely free at the back post. No one is anywhere near. In fact, there are 2 Spurs players nearer to him than any West Ham player. So I can't believe how free he was.
The front post. It was really
Simons gets an assist on his debut. And from that point, okay, you got the lead, maybe it changes. And then 10 minutes later, Souček gets sent off and the game's won at that point.
Yeah, and it was a clear red card. You know, no one can have any arguments there. It was like high challenge, whatever. But yeah, overall, for me, I'm going to be positive. Results are what I care about right now. Like I want us to stay on track. We're never going to be the finished article after a few games. It's going to take Frank a little while, so I won't complain too much about the first half, but I do want to make the point that if we take it back to the lineups, I wasn't really happy with the lineup. I wanted Tell to start, but I don't want him to be a focal point, a lone striker. Like, I don't think he can do that. And also, we need to get better from build-up. Even watching the first half, you could see that West Ham could play it through the middle so much easier than us. Yeah. I know that we've got better players than them, so it's really, really frustrating. But we're not playing those better players in the correct positions. Like, you know, I was complaining that Bergvall should be slightly deeper so that he can help with build-up, but he kind of proved me wrong today when it went and scored.
I mean,
nice
that's exactly what you need as well when Souček just gets sent off, which, by the way, you know, was pretty much a knee-high challenge with his studs. He's got to go. He didn't complain as well, Souček, so it was a definite red card. Within a minute, Romero's floating that pass beautifully over the top of the West Ham back line, and Bergvall running onto it. You're thinking, is he going to take it down? How's he going to do? What's he going to do? And stretching, somehow jumps and just beautifully lobs his header over the goalkeeper, just
Deft
delightfully,
touch,
so deft. And somehow that was his first Premier League goal. And it's hard to think about it, considering the quality of the goal that he scored. And wonderful, wonderful finish. Obviously, at 2-0 and they're down to 10 men, the game was completely finished. And I think you saw that. I mean, we made it 3 pretty quickly after, and then it became a bit of a kind of a friendly kind of feel at that point. But yeah, just talking about Bergval's goal. I mean, if I was saying in the commentary, had shades of Van Persie against Spain in the World Cup. It was just delightful how he managed to head it in the way he did.
Yeah, 100%. And Romero, oh my God, he's just world class when he's like that. Like, he is our single ball progressor. Like, he can do it all on his own. He's like, oh, if my midfielders won't come and collect the ball off me, if my midfielders can't pass, I will just, play a hero ball that crosses out all their midfield and goes all the way through to our attackers. Like, he was so great today, not just in his duels, but his passing was immense. I've just put in one of my group chats that he's the best ball playing centre back in the league. I actually think that there aren't many centre backs that hit passes like that consistently. He did it about 4 or 5 times in this game. Do you know what I mean?
It was brilliant, and some of those passes in between the lines. There was even in the first half when we were struggling, there were times where he's hitting these beautiful passes into midfield, but we don't make the most of them. We kind of receive the ball in a good area and then play it backwards, or don't get it on the half turn and exploit the space that those passes are designed to do. And obviously in the second half was a bit different, and obviously the assist. We've seen like Toby do that a few times. I remember setting up Dele Alli, but it was just a beautiful lofted pass over the top, from the halfway line as well. The way it floated over the defence and the way Bergval finished it, one of them will probably be up for goal of the month, probably, that finished. It's a beautiful, beautiful goal. Exactly what we needed. And then obviously we wrapped up. I don't even when it was, 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go. Bergval again. Credit to him, picks the ball up in the box. He's got a few players on him, somehow wriggles out of it in a tight situation, but falls to Van de Ven, and he finishes it like a seasoned striker. Lovely on his right foot, just curls it into the corner, and then 3-0. The game really is done, and a stream of West Ham fans start exiting the London Stadium at that point. And so at that point, game was well and truly done. I guess a few talking points. Tell got his opportunity today. I don't want to harbour on the negative, but we can't really say he took it, can we?
No, but I know I'm like champion of the Tell Defender Club, but he's not playing in the position he should be playing for me. He cannot play as a lone striker. So yes, he didn't take his chance. The thing with him as well is when I watch him, you can see he's trying. He doesn't look like one of those players that's like lazy or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a shame. But yeah, he has to be played from the left, I think, or with another striker around him, because he can't. He's not going to win duels against Premier League centre backs like aerials and stuff like that. It's just not going to happen. He had one flick on today.
And Andre makes a good point. After about 20 minutes, he was clearly struggling with something, wasn't he? He did soldier on, but he was he seemed to have some sort of injury. First look at Xavi Simons. Got an assist from the corner, really good corner, by the way. And as much as I'm looking at it again, I mean, it's horrific defending from West Ham.
Bergval's done well to kind of
Bergval blocks off was Diouf, it looks like. Great assist for Simons on his debut. What were your early impressions of him playing off the left-hand side?
So, look, this wasn't like some world-class, world-beater debut or something like that. There were some nice moments, like that moment. What I noticed is I think he'll be really good for us on transition. Like there was that moment where he just brought the ball down out of the air and nutmegged someone, wasn't it? And I think he played the ball through to Tell, and it didn't work out in the end. But he decent, nothing to shout home about, I would say. But again, I think this is because he should be playing in the middle.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of his best work came, I felt.
Yeah, exactly. He kept coming inside. And you know that moment in the first half where he passed to where he should be? Like, because he was playing on the left, and he passed it out to the left and there's no one there because he should be there. But I'm excited, and I am confident Frank will get it right, get the right balance.
I think it was a bright debut. I think there's enough in there for Tottenham fans to watch and be excited about what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I think definitely, I don't think he's a left winger. I think, look, he can do a job out there, and I think today he wasn't like awful out there. It's just you could see he wants to be in those central areas. He wants to be linking with other players. He doesn't want to be isolated out wide and asked to dribble past players and basically just committing his fullback all the time. He wants to be the link player. He wants to be the player that players play through. Exactly. And obviously that wasn't the case today, but I think there were definitely bright sparks, and the corner he took was really good, and it was a really nice assist. And yeah, I think in future, hopefully we start getting in the right areas. And I think for a debut, it was decent. It wasn't anything special. We didn't set the world alight, but I think there's enough from what we saw for fans to get excited about what he could bring to us. And God, he's still only 22 as well. It's crazy how young he is, but the guy has quality. Nutmegged Paquetá as well at one point, which was lovely to see. And another player I want to talk about is Bergvall, because he got a goal and assist today. And I know we talked about his goal at length, but he's almost a player people have forgotten about how good he is, because people obviously, last season he did win our young player of the year last season, which is mad to think about. But because he's been injured since late April, he was a fixture of our team last year ever since he broke in December. And this season, he's maybe struggled to get back fully from that injury, and at the moment he's been out of the team with
pre-season.
Didn't have a great pre-season, and he's been out of the team with Paulinho coming in, Bentancur and Sarr been filling in that positions. But I think today hopefully was a timely reminder what a talent we have, because he's a wonderful, wonderful player. Still only 19. Thankfully today got his first Premier League goal. And when talking about our midfield, people rarely put Bergvall as our first choice, but he's clearly reminded everyone today, look, I'm here, and I was your first choice last season, and that I should still be considered that.
Yeah, and for me, he would be my first choice. Like, I don't mind who plays between Paulinho or Bentancur or whatever, but I think for most of the games this season, so where we're going to be against teams that we expect to finish below us, I would start Bergvall. Against the big teams, I probably wouldn't, but we need someone like Bergvall who can help us build, who has a bit of guile on the ball. Like, it wasn't just his goal and assist today. He had a few moments where he just did those like quick turns. Do you know what I mean? In midfield, and just that split second sending them the wrong way opens up so much space in front of him. Which is
interesting, because if you hear, I don't know if you saw some of Frank's interview pre-game, but he was talking about players taking responsibility. He said sometimes, you can have tactics and whatever you like, but sometimes players just got to do something a bit out off the cuff, off the blue, and that opens up the space. You can't. Yes, there's tactics like you play here and here, but when it comes to Bergvall doing little twists and stuff, that's not like a formation thing. That's just him taking responsibility and opening up the space and using his quality to do that. And that's something we didn't do last week. And obviously, when you have Bergvall who has that quality, that can change the pictures on the pitch, can't it? You're not all these players in front of you all the time. You beat a player, all of a sudden it opens up different 100%. Pictures.
Yeah, and that is my criticism of Frank, though, is like, yes, you're saying we didn't do that last week, but you didn't have the players on the pitch to do that last week. Do you know what I mean? So you can't expect Paulinho, Sarr and Bentancur to be that kind of creative player or that sort of player. Do you know what I mean? And
for all the talk of, how's Kudus going to fare on his return to the London Stadium within, intense atmosphere, they were booing him with every touch of the ball, and don't remember too many really strong challenges on him, but I remember there was obviously one that was celebrated like a goal in the first half, which from Gio was so funny. How do you think he did fare? Like, in general, do you think he reacted to the kind of reception well, he thrived in it?
Yeah, he didn't seem to be in over his head or anything. There was no reactions to anything. He seemed totally calm to me, and he played well. I think he is unlucky not to get something like either a goal or an assist. I've really.
He tried, didn't he? Near the end, he did try.
He was trying a bit too much near the end,
and I think that also shows in his character. He was desperate to get a goal at the London Stadium as well, given all the stick he was getting. So I think that goes to show a bit of his kind of character. He definitely didn't hide away. He didn't buckle under kind of what was a very hostile atmosphere. I do think part of me was was he too desperate to try and get a goal at points? You know what I mean? Was it affecting him in that way? A bit too much the other way? You know what I mean? He was so desperate. I didn't mind it 3-0 up.
3-0 up, that's all right.
But look, I think I agree with you. It was a pretty good display. Clean sheet, 3 goals. just to touch on, Frank himself, you're saying there was things that you're questioning off the back of what was a terrible performance against Bournemouth. We wanted a reaction.
Yeah.
Would you say we got that today? Was it just a case of the game falling in our lap, or did you see things differently to what we were doing against Bournemouth?
The players, I'm trying to find the positives here because we've won 3-0. I don't want to sound
It's hard not to. Yeah, you can't be positive. Come on.
The players definitely seemed more up for it. We had more technical quality on the field, so I'll give that to Frank. Even if I complain about Xavi being outside and out on the left and all that, we had a lot of the players on the field that I wanted, and this will be great for our confidence. I think it's a great result, and Frank definitely learned something, but I just want to see a little bit more build through the middle next time. That's all it is.
Yeah, I see some people on. So obviously, everyone's delighted with the win, and I'm delighted with the win, and I'm delighted. I think that we played well. I'm not sitting here, especially second half, like it was a good performance, but it still feels like most of our chances are being created by set pieces.
Yeah, set pieces. Yeah.
And like obviously when they went down to 10 men as well. Look, it was a world class goal.
Romero has cut the pitch open.
Because I think even the second goal, obviously a third goal, Van der Ven was up from a set piece, right?
Yeah.
The second goal, beautiful moment, but this wasn't like we were able to. Look, we opened them up due to a brilliant ball from Romero and a brilliant finish from Bergvall. Still struggling to kind of play through teams and open them up in and around the penalty area, even when we got players like Simmons and Bergvall there.
Because they're not in the right positions for me.
So still a few concerns, like West Ham, let's be honest. They played all right for the first 45 minutes, but they were pretty poor, like in terms of what they offered going forward. Like and they had Paquetá up front and Bowen off the right, and was a bit disjointed, I felt, and didn't really threaten too much. You didn't have to worry about them, I thought. Diouf was giving us some trouble first half, but second half not really. I guess it's hard to really judge because once I went down to 10 men, the game was over.
Yeah,
like it was 10 men and 2-0 within a minute.
Exactly.
So once that happens, it's like the game's dead. So it's hard to like judge a game off the back of we were struggling for much of it. Then we win the game within a 1 minute spell essentially, because even at 1-0. They still had Bowen had that shot from the edge of the box just after we scored, didn't it? Or was it Paquetá? Like just after we scored, like Vicario had to make a save. Remember? So like they were still like in the game at 1-0. But then as soon as it goes 10 men and 2-0, the game's dead. So like it's hard to judge the game on that merit.
I'm not gonna.
You can't really say like we're back.
Winning
we're back.
the league. Yeah.
You can't say we're back now. Like just off the back, because I wouldn't say that performance was like stellar.
No, definitely
I think 3-0 probably flattered us. I think it's fair to say.
Well, if you look at the XG, what was it like? We were 3-0 up and it was 0.5 XG. We've probably got more XG now.
Yeah, so I think if you're being a bit realistic of what we saw today, and as much as I'm delighted and like put West Ham in their place, and one of the level London stadium for the first time since 2019, I can't sit here and say we were stellar or like it was like scintillating. It was 1.2 XG, 0.6 for West Ham. Look, we deserve to win. We're the better
100%,
side.
100%.
And it was, going away to West Ham, we haven't won there for 6 years. So clearly it's not easy for us to do that. So you can't take it for granted. But I can't sit here and say we were phenomenal or like it was like the most scintillating display. We just basically used the tools that are in our disposal in terms of set pieces, which is good. It just means when you're not playing well, essentially, you still got an opportunity to score. I guess it's kind of what Arsenal do, even when they're not playing well. Yeah. They can still find those moments because they're good at set pieces. And that's kind of, what we have been doing a lot of the time, what we did today. So great, delighted.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Up to second in the league, only just behind Arsenal at the moment. Nice. Chelsea go top, I think, if they win, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see how they do. So fantastic to get the 3 points and move on from it. Still a lot to improve on, I guess, is the point. Champions League on Tuesday. I think also a very big positive is we were able to rotate the squad.
Brilliant rotation.
And get a convincing 3-0 win out of it.
Yeah. A lot of players like that I expect to come in. So like Bentancur, Richie or Muwani. There's lots of rotation there. We could start Udogie on Tuesday. We can. There's. It'd be interesting to see what because I do think part of this decision, the lineup today was with Tuesday in part in thought. Sorry, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes in, who doesn't, who keeps their place, and who was being kept on ice for Tuesday, and all that kind of stuff. So look, brilliant win, 3-0 at the London Stadium, but it's now your